Hello again. In this lesson, we'll take up another English verb tense, the past continuous tense. It's easy. But right now, let me mention two grammar points. Mention means to talk about, right? First, I said we will take up another English verb tense. Take up is another good example of a two-word verb, or what we call phrasal verb. In an earlier lesson, I told you that take up means consider or think about. We use a lot of phrasal verbs in English. Second, the verb tense for this lesson, the past continuous tense, is really quite easy. It's very simple and it's very similar to the present continuous tense. It's formed similarly. It's used for a continuing action, and the main verb is also formed with ing. Listen carefully. I will describe an imaginary situation. An imaginary situation is make-believe or unreal. Listen. The airport scare. Several people were waiting in the international airport yesterday. Some people were waiting to check their bags. Some were waiting to purchase airline tickets. Many were waiting to board their flights. A few people were having drinks at the bar. Some were eating in the cafeteria, and some were dozing in their seats in the waiting room. Suddenly, the security police arrived. They ordered everyone to evacuate the airport building. Okay? Evacuate means to leave. Now, before I read this imaginary situation again, I want to introduce you to the verbs in the passage. Look at the verbs. Here they are in the graphic. Wait and waiting plus verb. Waiting to go, waiting to check, waiting to purchase, waiting to board. Check. Purchase. Board. Have with food and drink. Eat. Doze. Arrive. Order. And evacuate. So I told you we have waiting with the verb, waiting to go, waiting to purchase, but we have having with a noun, having drinks. Okay? All right, I'll read the passage one more time, this time emphasizing the past continuous verb forms. The airport scare. Several people were waiting in the international airport yesterday. Some people were waiting to check their bags. Some were waiting to purchase airline tickets. Many were waiting to board their flights. A few people were having drinks at the bar. Some were eating in the cafeteria, and some were dozing in their seats in the waiting room. Suddenly, the security police arrived. They ordered everyone to evacuate the airport building. Okay. Notice that all of the verb forms are plural, were, and notice that just as the present continuous is made of a be verb and another verb, so is the past continuous. Look at this graphic. Continuous tenses, present, now. I am waiting in the airport now. Past, yesterday. I was waiting in the airport yesterday, too. As I said, it is an easily formed verb tense. In the case of the past continuous tense, the past be verb forms are used. Look at this graphic. I was waiting. You were waiting. She, he, it was waiting, we were waiting, and they were waiting. All right? Now we are ready to practice this form orally, which means you've got to speak aloud. And one question we might ask about the airport scene is, what was happening? What was going on? Notice was happening, was going on. Two-word verb, but in any case, past continuous tense. For this practice, I will ask you about imaginary people in the imaginary airport situation. Sometimes I will give them names, sometimes I won't. And you will answer with any of the activities in the passage on screen. It's quite easy, but fairly interesting. For example, what were some of the people doing in the airport yesterday? You could say they were waiting to purchase airline tickets, or they were having a drink at the bar. Got the picture? Okay, let's try this. What were some of the people doing in the airport yesterday? They were having a drink at the bar. Great. What was William doing in the airport yesterday? He was waiting to check his bags. Or he was dozing in his seat. Good. What was Maya doing in the airport yesterday? She was eating in the cafeteria. Good. What were you doing in the airport yesterday? I was waiting to buy an airline ticket. I was waiting to board my flight. Okay. What were they doing in the airport yesterday? They were waiting to board their flights. Or they were sending email in the internet cafe. What were Hideo and Yukiko doing in the airport? They were eating in the cafeteria, or they were reading their email in the internet cafe. What were some people doing in the airport? Yeah, some people were dozing in their seats. That's great. Good job. All right, let's go to the exercise and we'll continue working on this past continuous tense. You'll see a list of activities and the times that Maria did these activities yesterday. Your job, write the sentences with past continuous tense verbs. All right? So, for example, you'll see at 7 o'clock had breakfast. And you'll write, Maria was having breakfast at 7 o'clock. Or, at 7 o'clock, Maria was having breakfast. Both are good. Here's another example. You'll see, at noon, ate lunch. And you will write, Maria was eating lunch at noon, or Maria was eating lunch at midday. Same story. Okay, pause your program, look at your study guide, and please do the exercise. Then come back here. Let's review that exercise. You were making sentences with Maria, right? And past continuous tense. You saw the prompt at 7 o'clock and had breakfast, and you wrote, Maria was having breakfast at 7 o'clock. Next, Maria was eating lunch at noon, or 12 o'clock. Maria was taking a nap at 3. Maria was reading a newspaper at 10 o'clock in the morning. At midnight, Maria was sleeping soundly, or Maria was sleeping soundly at midnight. Next, Maria was having dinner at 8 in the evening. Maria was washing some clothes at 4. And Maria was watching television at 6 o'clock. Very good.